Story number 1, The Northampton Clown. In 2013, the small town of Northampton, England, was gripped by fear as a mysterious clown began appearing on street corners, silently staring at passers-by. The figure, dressed in a white suit with red hair and a painted white face, would stand motionless for hours, sometimes holding balloons or waving slowly at onlookers. Sarah Jenkins, a 28-year-old nurse, first encountered the clown on her way home from a late shift. As she turned onto her street, she saw a flash of white in the corner of her eye. There, beneath a flickering streetlight, stood the clown. Its painted smile seemed to stretch impossibly wide, its eyes devoid of emotion. Sarah quickened her pace, fumbling for her keys. As she reached her front door, she glanced back. The clown had moved closer, now standing at the end of her driveway. With shaking hands, she unlocked her door and rushed inside, slamming it behind her. Over the next few weeks, sightings of the Northampton Clown increased. Children refused to walk to school alone, and adults avoided going out after dark. Local police were flooded with calls, but each time they arrived at a reported location, the clown had vanished. As fear spread, so did the stories. Some claimed the clown had knocked on their windows at night. Others swore they'd seen it holding a knife. The town became a pressure cooker of paranoia and speculation. Sarah couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. She began seeing the clown everywhere, in shop windows, lurking in alleyways, always just at the edge of her vision. Her friends told her she was being paranoid, but Sarah knew what she'd seen. One night, unable to sleep, Sarah went to her kitchen for a glass of water. As she flicked on the light, she froze. There, pressed against her window, was the white painted face of the clown. Its red lips parted in a silent laugh. Sarah screamed and dropped the glass, backing away as it shattered on the floor. She fumbled for her phone, dialing 999 with trembling fingers. When she looked back, the window was empty. The police arrived quickly, but found no evidence of an intruder. They assured Sarah it was likely just a prankster, but she knew better. The clown's eyes had been too empty, its smile too wide to be human. Days later, a local man named Alex Powell came forward, admitting he was behind the Northampton Clown sightings. He claimed it was an art project gone viral, meant to bring a sense of whimsy to the town. The police confirmed his story, and the sightings stopped. But Sarah couldn't shake her unease. The clown she'd seen at her window had been different, more sinister, more real. And sometimes, on dark nights when the wind whispers through the trees, she still catches glimpses of a white painted face and a red-lipped smile, watching from the shadows. The Northampton Clown incident serves as a chilling reminder of how easily fear can grip a community, and how the line between reality and imagination can blur in the face of the unknown. While the mystery was officially solved, for some residents like Sarah, the terror of those few weeks in 2013 left an indelible mark, a lingering doubt that perhaps not all the clown sightings were so easily explained away. Story number 2, The Wrinkles Incident. In 1981, the city of Boston was rocked by a series of unsettling encounters involving a figure that came to be known as Wrinkles the Clown. The incidents began when children at a local elementary school reported seeing a strange clown peering into their classroom windows. 10-year-old Tommy Larson was the first to notice. During a math lesson, he glanced out the window and froze. There, pressed against the glass, was a face that would haunt his nightmares for years to come. It was a clown, but not the cheerful kind from birthday parties. This clown had deeply wrinkled skin, sunken eyes, and a mouth twisted into a grotesque grin. Tommy's scream alerted the rest of the class. By the time their teacher reached the window, the clown had vanished. The school was locked down, and police were called, but no trace of the intruder was found. Over the next few weeks, similar sightings occurred across the city. Children reported seeing the clown in playgrounds, hiding behind trees in parks, and even lurking in the backgrounds of family photos. Parents were terrified, and local authorities were baffled. The situation escalated when notes began appearing, seemingly written by the clown. "I've been watching you," one read, found taped to a child's bedroom window. Another, discovered in a family's mailbox, simply said, "You're next." As panic gripped the city, theories abounded. Some believed it was an elaborate hoax, while others were convinced a dangerous predator was on the loose. Vigilante groups formed, patrolling neighborhoods at night. The breaking point came on a crisp autumn evening. The Johnsons, a family of 4, were having dinner when their youngest daughter, Emily, began screaming hysterically. She pointed at the sliding glass door leading to their backyard. There, illuminated by the porch light, stood Wrinkles. Mr. Johnson rushed to call the police while his wife gathered the children in the living room. For several agonizing minutes, the family huddled together, watching as the clown slowly pressed its hands against the glass, leaving smeared handprints behind. When the police arrived, they found the backyard empty. However, they discovered something chilling: a Polaroid photo left on the patio table. It showed the family eating dinner, taken just minutes before through the very window where Wrinkles had appeared. The incident sparked a massive manhunt. For weeks, the city was on edge. Children were kept home from school, and adults traveled in groups. Despite the increased police presence, Wrinkles seemed to vanish into thin air. Then, as suddenly as they had begun, the sightings stopped. Life slowly returned to normal, but the memory of Wrinkles lingered. Years later, many of those who had encountered the clown still spoke of it in hushed tones. In 2010, a deathbed confession brought a shocking twist to the case. Harold Grimes, a former children's party entertainer, admitted to being Wrinkles. He claimed it had started as a twisted way to drum up business for his failing clown act, but had spiraled out of control. While Grimes' confession provided some closure, many questions remained unanswered. Some victims insisted that the clown they saw couldn't have been a man in his 60s, as Grimes would have been at the time. And the Polaroid found at the Johnsons' house was never fully explained. To this day, the Wrinkles incident serves as a dark chapter in Boston's history, a reminder of how a community's fears can be manipulated, and how the line between reality and urban legend can blur. For those who lived through it, the memory of that wrinkled, grinning face peering through windows continues to send chills down their spines. Story number 3, The Phantom Clowns of 1981. In the spring of 1981, a wave of terror swept across the United States as reports of sinister clowns attempting to lure children into vans began to surface. The phenomenon, which came to be known as the Phantom Clown Scare, gripped communities from Massachusetts to Kansas, leaving parents frightened and authorities baffled. The first reported incident occurred in Brookline, Massachusetts. 2 children claimed they were approached by a van driven by 2 men dressed as clowns. The men allegedly tried to entice the children with candy, but the kids ran away. Within days, similar reports emerged in neighboring towns. Linda Thompson, a 3rd-grade teacher in Boston, recalled the day the panic reached her school. "It was just after lunch when we got the alert," she said. "We were told to keep all the children inside and call their parents for early pickup. The fear in those kids' eyes. I'll never forget it." As news of the incident spread, sightings multiplied. In Kansas City, a clown reportedly chased children with a knife. In Pittsburgh, elementary school students claimed to have seen a yellow van driven by a clown circling their playground. Each report added fuel to the growing hysteria. Law enforcement agencies across the country found themselves overwhelmed. Despite increased patrols and numerous stakeouts, not a single clown was apprehended. The lack of physical evidence only deepened the mystery and intensified public fear. Daniel Roberts, then a rookie police officer in Providence, Rhode Island, remembered the frustration. "We'd get a call about a clown sighting, and by the time we got there, nothing. No tire tracks, no candy wrappers, no witnesses except scared kids. It was like chasing ghosts." The media frenzy surrounding the phantom clowns reached a fever pitch. Local news stations ran nightly updates, and national papers carried front-page stories about the killer clowns. Parents formed neighborhood watch groups, and sales of home security systems skyrocketed. As the summer wore on, the sightings began to taper off. But the damage was done. The once innocent image of the circus clown had been forever tarnished in the public imagination. Years later, sociologists and folklorists would study the phantom clown scare as a prime example of mass hysteria. They pointed out how the reports spread along communication networks, growing more outlandish with each retelling, yet never resulting in any actual harm or credible evidence. Dr. Elizabeth Harmon, a folklorist at the University of Chicago, explained, "The phantom clown scare tapped into deep-seated societal fears about stranger danger and the safety of our children. The clown, a figure meant to bring joy but with an inherent unsettling quality, became the perfect vessel for these anxieties." While no concrete explanation for the phenomenon was ever found, theories abounded. Some believed it was a case of copycat pranksters inspired by initial media reports. Others suggested it might have been sparked by real incidents that were then exaggerated and replicated in the public imagination. For those who lived through it, the phantom clown scare left an indelible mark. Linda Thompson, now retired, reflected, "Even today, when I see a clown at a birthday party or a circus, I can't help but feel a little uneasy. It's like that spring of '81 changed something fundamental in how we see these characters." The 1981 Phantom Clown Scare serves as a chilling reminder of how quickly fear can spread through a community, and how the line between reality and mass delusion can blur. It stands as a testament to the power of collective anxiety and the enduring impact of urban legends on our cultural psyche. In the years since, similar clown panics have occasionally flared up, most notably in 2016. But none have matched the intensity and widespread nature of the 1981 scare. For many, the phantom clowns of that year remain the ultimate boogeyman, a nameless, faceless threat that emerged from nowhere, terrorized a nation, and then vanished without a trace, leaving behind only lingering fear and unanswered questions.